of showing you the good times and the bad times, right? And it always comes back, especially, I constantly think that there's fate in the back of that mind, and it constantly comes back to reminders and little things and quirky things like this, and it is amazing how it just fell on the same day, that so long ago, that there was such low in Wrexham's history, that this is just the big turnaround and the celebration for all those fans, those 600 that came. Pat yourselves on the back, because you deserve this today.
Yeah, when you say it like that, Mark, it does sound like a bit of a fairy tale, doesn't it? I know a lot of opposition fans are saying, it's really not, but believe me, if you listen to the story, it really is. And, it's great to see the number of Wrexham fans today here, and hear the ones as well, seeing on social media, the ones that were here 17 years ago as well. What a journey, what a roller coaster it's been, but I'm sure we wouldn't have changed any of the way it's gone, would we, along the way? But yeah, today should be a really special day, and I'm sure the players will go out there wanting to end the season on a real high and hopefully get 3 points and get us to that 90-point mark.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, there's loads of poignant and interesting things to get to here today. Apart from, of course, the football match, there will be a ceremony, a very important ceremony before kick-off, which means we'll look at the teams now a little bit earlier than usual. Wrexham, quite simply, have one change. Jay Rodriguez is not in the squad. Elliot Lee comes in his place, playing off Sam Smith. So Wrexham lining up with Arthur Okonkwo in goal. The back three, Max Cleworth, Dan Scarr and Lewis Brunt. Wing-backs are Ryan Longman and James McLean. In the centre of midfield, George Dobson, Matty James and Ollie Rathbone. And as I said, up front, Lee plays off Smith. On the bench for Wrexham, Callum Burton, Owen O'Connell, Tom O'Connor, Seb Revan, Ryan Barnett, Jack Marriott and, of course, Stephen Fletcher. No, I mean, apart from Rodriguez's absence, which I assume is down to injury, no changes really in picking a settled side, are there?
No, and I think there was a few people maybe wondering would there be a few changes given that it's all wrapped up and done now, but I think that shows the mentality of not just Phil Parkinson but the players, that they want to finish strong. It doesn't matter, it's already done. It's still another game. This is a group of winners. You've got to remember that everything's got to be taken super seriously. But yeah, no surprises for me, him not changing it. I think Jay Rodriguez had to have some injections in the foot last week from what Phil Parkinson said, so obviously not wanting to take any serious risks with him. But another real strong lineup, isn't it? Hopefully, something we haven't seen up front with the sort of two smaller ones, if you like, with Lee and Smith. So that could be an interesting little partnership too.
Yeah, Phil Parkinson's got a history of showing really that there's no sentiment in football, and the full focus is on the win and how to get best that. There is also the other side to it. You do like the sentiment and the loyalty, etc. I get that. But you've also got the lads that have got you there as well. The lads that have played every week, week in, week out, have grafted to get to the point that they are today, and to be left out for a bit of sentiment, it just sends the wrong message, I believe, to the group. And so it's fair play. They'll get their applause. All the team, I'm sure, tomorrow will have a great day, whoever is in that squad. But today is full focus on 3 points and trying to get 90 points in the EFL, which has never been done by a Wrexham team.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even if you convert all the 2 points for a win seasons to 3 points for a win, Wrexham have never got to 90. We've already set the club record most points in the EFL, even if, like I said, you make that conversion, which really shows what a remarkable season we've had. When people got stressed about points dropped against the likes of Bristol Rovers, I mean, let's be honest, they were the points you would need to be competing with Birmingham at the top end, not the points you need to get promoted. So yeah, a draw here would give us 90 points. I don't think Phil Parkinson's picked a team to draw somehow. Although it must be said, Lincoln have finished the season well. They're 11th now, but they've only made one change in the side that lost at Stockport, but were winning 2-0 at Hedgley Park. Adam Jackson drops out at centre-back. Tom Hamer comes in. So they line up with George Wickens in goal. Tendai Darikwa is the right back. Sean Rowan is the left back. Pordy O'Connor and Hamer are the centre-backs. And then Ethan Aaron and Ethan Hamilton are in the centre of midfield. Rico Hackett on the right and Aiken Ring on the left, but they'll probably exchange as the half goes on. And then Ben House plays off James Collins, their sub-keeper, the brilliantly named Zach Geacock, Conor McGrandles, Jack Moylan, Tom Bayliss, Jackson, the centre-back from last weekend, Freddie Draper and Zane Okoro. And we know that Michael Scubala is not going to put out a team either that will want to do anything but give their fans a pleasant end to the season and hope for the next. Your last home game is always a bit of an occasion, no matter how the season's gone, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And they'll want to just set a tone for the fans to get excited about for next season as well. Because, yes, mid-table, I spoke to a couple of the BBC guys that have done it, and they've said we've been very mediocre this season, middle. We've done well against the good teams, and we've really been disappointed against the lower teams. But we've been where we are because we are inconsistent. And you want to send a message that, no, next year we'll maybe have a go of it, and we'll do better than we are doing this season, and give them a bit of optimism.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And now will be the ceremony that I was mentioning. It's the 40th anniversary of one of the most awful tragedies that has ever befallen British football, the Bradford City Stadium fire, and Lincoln were the opposition. 56 fans were killed, absolutely horrific event, including 2 Lincoln fans, Jim Westwood and Bill Stacey, who was their coordinator of travel to away games. And so now there will be a ceremony which I'll hand over to the PA announcer to explain.
Representing Lincoln City Football Club, Harvey and Missy Jabara, representing all of today's players, Paulie O'Connor, and representing the families, Bill Stacey's son Trevor and grandsons David and William. We now invite you to join us in a minute's silence, which will begin and end with the referee's whistle.
So an appropriately well-observed minute's silence, the wreath laid on the penalty spot at the end the Wrexham fans are in. And yeah, I mean, I remember a terrible, terrible day. Nigel Beaumont, who went on to play for Wrexham, was an apprentice that day. I mean, even more horrific because Bradford had won the league, and so it was a sellout last match, but a fire in a wooden stand claimed those 56 lives. A horrible, horrible day. Absolutely horrible, and a very, very poignant moment. Just to have I think, of those people that are missing this game through, who have passed this season, and are really right in front of the Stacey West stand that the Wrexham fans are in. Hence why the wreath was laid that end. But brilliantly, a fantastic minute's silence by the Wrexham and the Lincoln fans. Well done. And now on to the football. Absolutely. So Wrexham kick off in our gold kit, black shorts. Lincoln in red shirts and white sleeves. Wrexham kicking towards the Wrexham fans in the first half, and it's a good tackle by Hamilton on Dobson, and he drives to the edge of the area. He's got an option out wide and hits a shot instead. Okonkwo takes it comfortably, but I think as any Lincoln fan will be happy with a shot after 14 seconds. Show a bit of intent.
Yeah, early opportunity, wasn't it? Lincoln judge Dobson just gets it wrong, just tries to dribble past his man, and just Lincoln just have that little bit of space on the counter just early on, and I think he probably chooses the wrong option in the end. You see why he's early on, they'll try and test Arthur. The noise the Wrexham fans are making, although from the goal kick Lincoln win it back once more, and now it's a driving run in towards the edge of the area in the end. It's
loss of footing, which saves Wrexham. And can Wrexham break? Rathbone quickly out to the left-hand side. Well, you can hear McLean's got the ball, and he drives forwards, waits for support. And Wrexham are happy to move it around now in their own half. It's Brunt, put under pressure, nice little step over, and then drives typically down the flank, but runs out of pitch in the end. Throw in to Lincoln on the halfway line. The noise those Wrexham fans are making, goodness me.
Well, they've been like it for 45 minutes before kick-off. Fantastic following, all in fancy dress. Just trying to pick out the best ones from a distance. There's 4 orange type cones. I think they're traffic cones, potentially. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, they look good, don't they? Right in the front row as Lincoln switched the ball to Rowan on the left-hand side. He's got Gardner ahead of him, doesn't use him. Wrexham's midfield keeping it quite tight and making it difficult to spot a pass through them. Here's Erhan now, working it back to O'Connor, the centre-back and skipper. Prodded inside by Rowan. Good pressure, though, by Matty James. Forces a back pass from Hamilton. There's a guy in a big green sort of lizard outfit. He pleases me as it's lifted over the top. That's a good ball for Gardner, is it? No, the bounce just evades him. Nice idea by O'Connor. Throws to Wrexham by the corner flag. Lincoln certainly showing energy early on.
Well, Wrexham's right-hand side twice. Gardner's got in off the first minute, off the back of normally Max would just go diag off the kick-off and go long. He decides to roll it down the side of Dobson. Dobson has it stolen off him, and they're under pressure straight away. Just off script a little bit.
So Cleworth's got the ball in his hands, level the edge of his area, left-hand side. He's got Smith down the line, goes beyond him, headed up in the air rather by O'Connor. Wow, Rathbone, great vision, pings a volley out to McLean, and now he's running half the width of the pitch to give support as well. Typical Rathbone. He has it again now on the halfway line. Lee is switching around to find space, finds it, receives, and Lincoln's midfield drop off quite deep in front of their defence, which allows Wrexham to work a little 1-2, but James was anticipating a run round the back by Smith, which didn't come. And Lincoln have the ball back again. O'Connor on the edge of his area. Knocks it long once more. And it's good strength by Scar and a good turn of pace to make sure after the ball dropped in behind him, James Collins couldn't get there. It's a goal kick. I've come in sort of fancy dress. I've come as me when I was 9. So I've got my Crosville Buses early 80s. I did have the original of this shirt. Obviously this isn't that because it wouldn't fit me arm, never mind me body. And I have put on my original badges that I had when I was 9. Because when I was 9 and first started watching Wrexham, we were in the Championship. It was our first season in the Championship, so that fits together a little bit. God, I feel old. Here's Collins laying it off. He's found House. It wasn't the intended target, but House drives down the left-hand side until Longman tackles back well, knocks him off him for a throw-in. And I've also got in my bag, which I'll have to fish out in a moment, my scarf from then, which is in horrific condition. Absolutely horrendous. It looks like a sort of desiccated jellyfish. Throw-in taken. Smith penalised for a push in the back on Rowan. But yeah, the noise from those Wrexham fans is tremendous. There's a snowman in the middle of them, I can see. There's from the back now, Hamer. Nice little ball out to Rowan. Immediately closed down by Longman. It's forced into a back pass. And Wickens under pressure. Drills it long. Hackett does well and turns, and he's got lots of space in midfield, drives towards the edge of the box, tries to play the through ball. Maybe he should have had a goal. It was a good interception by Brunt. And Lincoln certainly are trying to get on the front foot as McLean knocks a long ball. Intercepted by Irwan. Prodded away again by Brunt, and then the ball over the top by Matty James. Tried to put a bit of spin on that and drop it in the path of Smith, but overdid it, but good idea.
Well, Wrexham went on the full press, right up. Erhan going short. It was Elliot Lee went to the centre half. Matty James going in behind him, left a big gap in behind for the keeper just to drop it into, and it's McLean who slips, which enables Hackett to take the ball and then drive right into the middle of the heart of the defence. But Lewis Brunt does great, gets a great toe and is able to take the ball away.
Hackett turns nicely past McLean. Good tackle by James. But it's Dariqua tackling McLean again. And Rackett has a chance to run it. Brunt drills it in the goal mouth. And Okonkwo takes it well. It just hopped up in front of him. But he managed to clutch it comfortably to his chest. And now he wanders away with the ball just held in one hand. That show-off thing the goalies do. Just to send the message of how big and in control I am.
Yeah, they've done the press well so far, though. Lincoln, just a couple of times there. James McLean just gets caught out. Just makes the wrong decision, a little bit too slow. They're right on him as soon as they get on that ball.
Smith as well to keep the kick in. And it's cleared for a throw to Wrexham on the halfway line. It'll be Brunt to take it. Parkinson stands on the edge of his technical area, hands in his trouser pockets as Wrexham win a free kick on the halfway line. Lee drawing a challenge.
Yeah, I got a minute with Phil Parkinson before, and he was remarkably in good spirits, considering probably the week he's had. So much more relaxed, so much relief. You know, when you're as a manager, so many things going on in your head, and just the pure relief of getting over that line with the teams chasing down and doing so well.
Yeah, it must be such a joy as well. I mean, how lucky are we that all three promotions you've managed to A, achieve at the racecourse, and B, with a game in hand, so we can have a nice bit of fun like this. I mean, it's
and there is completely nothing on this one. You know, nobody can do anything. So that's the joy of it. Is you should just be able to go and play free. Yeah. There is part of that is taken away from that intensity and focus because there's not as much riding on it. But still, you can still go and produce.
And I hate to spoil the end of TV shows, but here's a spoiler. We go up with 4 games to spare next season. Lincoln building from the back, driven over the top. That's a nice idea, and it's another threatening run in from a bit deeper by House. Cleworth calmly heads it out of play, throw in level the edge of the area. Yeah, Hackett didn't get involved in the early stages, but he's had a couple of interventions from the right and looked lively. And House has made a couple of good runs from deep that have just asked questions of Wrexham, even if, like on that occasion, he didn't get onto the ball. He's won a throw, and Rowan's got a long throw. 2 big men at the near post. Rowan pings it in there, well won. Ahead of them, though, and headed clear by Brunt. Yeah, Wrexham got the 3 centre-backs all marking at the near post, marking 2. He's throwing it short. Now then, cross, swept him with good shape across the face 6-yard box. Good prod in by Matty James to get the ball clear. And in the end, the ball goes all the way back to the keeper. The big diagonal is played. And up from the back, O'Connor wins a corner off Cleworth's head.
Yeah, I think Wrexham just switched off, expecting the long throw to come in. Lincoln do well, play it short quickly. Longman's left, 2-on-1. They get the ball into the box really well. I think it's O'Connor who just throws himself at it, the Lincoln defender, and just can't quite get contact. What was a decent ball in.
So corner, left-hand side. The short option is on through Gardner. But it's lined up by Hackett. Gardner still lurking threateningly on the corner of the box. Hackett is set to take an away swinger. He sweeps it towards the penalty spot. Important header by Scard, still in the 6-yard box. Well won by Brunt. Typical great leap by him. And Wrexham clear it to the halfway line. Dariqua. Another big diagonal. Cleworth backed into. No foul given. Scar quick to get to the loose ball, but gives it away in an attempted shot. Is off target from the edge of the area by the centre-back O'Connor. But yeah, Lincoln are certainly putting us under pressure. I don't think they're quite as long ball as they were at the start of the season, but those diagonals are finding some reward.
Well, the game at home, it was one of those very forgettable games in that mid-season, wasn't it, where we just somehow managed, very even, we just managed to come out on top, just 1-0. That's that familiar scoreline that we were getting at that time. And those games was just so important. You don't remember any spectacular incidents or events in the game, but you just still managed to win the game. And so this is a tricky game for us if we're going to go and win it. We've just got to take care of the ball a little bit more when we have it.
Yeah, just to illustrate the scrappiness of that game, the Wrexham goal in the 1-0 win scored by Dariqua, of course. He's playing right back for Lincoln today, as here's Brunt on the halfway line. Neat little pass between two Lincoln players. Matty James typically calm on the ball as Collins pressures him and then takes up a nice position to get it from Brunt, and under pressure again pops the ball out to McLean. Wrexham moving around on the left, trying to shift Lincoln out of shape. They go back now to Scar. No score here, 12th minute. Scar over the top. Not the worst idea for Smith, who tried to make the run but inaccurate, and they're quickly getting the ball out wide to Gardner. Longman to sprint back. James gets a good foot in. Balls work wide, and Rowan back into midfield. Wrexham get it partly away through a challenge by Cleworth. Now Aarons works it over to the right hand side. Dariqua to Hackett. Wrexham working hard without the ball, but not able to get close enough to put a proper press on Lincoln. They're moving it around confidently. Hamer, good ball, floated down the line. Hackett, again Rathbone working back to close him off, but he chips it into the box and it's pulled back behind the on-rushing midfielders. Rowan stands it back into the box and get a misheader by Scar and a shot across the face of goal. Well, Wrexham could have got caught out there. Collins just didn't get hold of his attempt to drive it in. Smith beaten to it well by O'Connor. Lincoln really lock on the front foot here. Wrexham fans don't seem to be watching the game, just making constant noise. As Dariqua on the halfway line feeds it backwards. Good pressure on Hamilton. Dobson does really well, and he can't quite come out with the ball. Great ball by Hamilton. Hackett round the back of the defence. Takes on McLean as he cuts in down the goal line. Goes to go outside, and McLean does really well. Gets the tackle in, knocks it off Hackett. Goal kick.
Yeah, James McLean does really well to recover, because you just think Hackett's got all that space, beating him, watches the line really well, drives in, and McLean just keeps eyes on the ball and wins that goal kick. But Wrexham just a few moments just looking a little bit unsettled at the back, not quite pushing out quick enough. Lincoln just trying to take advantage of that early on.
Well, it's ball into the box and headed straight up in the air by Scar, just got slightly under it. It's dropping over the shoulder of Collins. Really difficult technique, but he manages to put it right across the face of goal. Nobody following it in. I think it's probably a shot, but ends up going out to Ryan Longman on the right hand side. But certainly Lincoln been in the ascendancy for the majority so far.
Okonkwo right-footed drills a goal kick, trying to again drop it on the left flank, puts it straight out of play, throw in on the halfway line. Dariqua to take. We could do with a little spell of possession, I feel, here. Draw the sting a little bit. I always say that though. As the ball is worked backwards to Vikings, who so far hasn't had much involvement in this game. Ball's lifted long by Lincoln, that's inaccurate. Cleworth nods it downwards. And it's good that it's controlled there to James. Wrexham do have the ball now. Brunt to Rathbone. Wrexham moving it around in their own half. Lincoln commit 4 players into the Wrexham half. But Wrexham comfortably get to Longman, who works a nice pass into the half space. Lee now driving forwards. Just miscontrolled it, and O'Connor was quick to spot that, step out and win it back. Hamilton finds Hackett. Intelligent early dink forwards for Collins, and Hackett takes over and again breaks down the right. He's got McLean to beat though, and Scar, who'd stepped out, and Lincoln go back into midfield, back to the halfway line. In fact, Wrexham regained their shape well there.
Well, it was Elliot Lee that had the touch, and it just looked like he wanted to play Smith, and as he saw it, he was going to play it, but then took that extra touch, which then ran away from him a little bit. But I think he just played that first ball, put Smith in a race. Let's see how they are with their backs turned towards goal.
Rowan of a cross. Hackett does well to attack it. It goes behind in the end, but it's a good ball then, and Wrexham will be glad that the ball went well wide in the end. It was Collins, I beg your pardon, and he didn't expect it to come through to him, I think, but it was a well-timed run into the goal mouth. Couldn't quite get the proper contact.
Well, in the previous build-up, Collins had sort of swapped with Hackett in positions, and so he just saw the opportunity to come in between Brunt and Scar and try and nick that header. Just doesn't quite get enough on it, and it rolls agonisingly wide for Lincoln.
James feeds it back to Cleworth. Dobson now. Again, Lincoln working hard, win the ball back. Referee tried to play an advantage, but Hamilton was caught. Free kick on the left-hand side to Lincoln.
Yeah, that's the second time now off the goal kick. We've just done the short one into Ryan Longman, who's just dropping off. Whether that's something we've picked out because Arthur's kicking at times. We've seen one already in this game. Straight out of play. It just allows us to keep hold of that ball. But again, just a little bit sloppy from Wrexham. George Dobson, this time it was the ball just not great and leaves a bit on his man.
So free kick about 30 yards out, left-hand side. Hackett stands on it with Gardner. Wrexham holding a line on the edge of the area. Referee gives the go-ahead, and it's Hackett sweeping it in, too close to Okonkwo. Now then, Lee is making a run for Okonkwo, but that maybe is a more attractive option if it's Smith making that run. Dobson feeds into midfield instead. Rathbone working hard. Dobson, first time little pass, finds a bit of space for James as Lincoln retreat and get their shape back. It's Brunt typically striding forwards, works it outside to McLean. First time back to Lee, rips it into the box, but it's well watched by Haber. Scar with a powerful header back in, and Smith will put pressure on Dariqua. Flag goes up against him. And it's a free kick on the edge of the area for Lincoln.
Yep, and just as you were saying on that goal kick from Arthur, when he's got it in his hands, Elliot Lee furthest one forward, that's what you'll lose. With no Jay Rodriguez, obviously Sam Smith will have to go back and do the defensive stuff, which leaves Elliot Lee, the one left up top.
Ball switched over to Dariqua on the right-hand side, halfway line. Rathbone immediately cutting under pressure. McLean as well to win the ball from Hackett, driving through the middle. Squares it to Dobson. Dobson tries a little drag back, got a lot on that. I don't know if he thought someone was behind him. But anyway, the pace has gone out of what was a promising counter-attack, but Wrexham still have the ball. Brunt into the centre circle. James wants a return pass from Scar, goes square to Cleworth. Down a line to Longman on the halfway line. Longman left-footed, looks to switch and puts it onto Dariqua's head. And that's a nice little header to Erwan, who was able to turn on the halfway line. James puts him under pressure, throw in to Lincoln. About 15 yards into their own half. Matty James looking very dynamic without the ball, really having to work hard either to make himself available or to try and stop Lincoln having time in their own half. Short throw. Hamilton goes back into his own half. And now here is Vikins. Remember, you can get in touch with us using the hashtag AskWrexham, ASKWXM on Twitter and Blue Sky. That's a nice switch by Dariqua to the left-hand side. Rowan lays it off. Gardner puts into good pressure by Longman, does well. Squares it inside. Erwan plays it forwards. That's a great ball there around the back of the defence. Chance for Rowan, pulls it back. Great chance, and Collins totally mishits it. He fights and wins it back. House, beg your pardon. Another chance for a cross. Dug in nicely. And it drops loose. Another shooting chance. Big block by Scar. Wrexham right in their luck twice there.
Yeah, it was a really nice ball. I think there was a little flick in there, wasn't there, as well, as it went out wide. And you're just thinking it's gonna drop here nicely as they come forward again.
Good ball in again by Dariqua. Couldn't quite reach it, could House. And Wrexham clear. We're second best at the moment.
Yeah, it was House with the first one, wasn't it? And then Gardner, really nice strike, really good block in there, like you said, Mark. But Lincoln definitely started well in this game.
So, Hamer crossing the halfway line. Dariqua under pressure, throw-in goes Lincoln's way. Dariqua with the ball in his hands then, just inside the Wrexham half, right-hand side.
The rotations from the right, the wide players, is causing Wrexham a lot of problems. And the three central midfielders, who goes with who, they're not really too sure. I think we're still 10 yards, still far too deep, especially when the goalkeeper's got it or the back two. Because if we go pressing as a three in midfield, it leaves a huge gap behind us, and we've just got to squeeze that gap and then make sure that when it does get dropped in, we're on the front foot and we're going to get that ball.
Still Lincoln come at Wrexham. Rowan on the left feeds it into the edge of the area. Well read by James. Okonkwo has to be quick to get there. Drills it forwards. Can't hit Smith. But Wrexham at least have a chance to step up into that mid-block. And now Lincoln will start again from the back. Ball swept across to Erwin, the midfielder, who's just dropped off into his own half. Nice to set ball between the lines. Collins' back heel doesn't work though. But Lincoln pick up the second ball again because Wrexham are having to protect their penalty area at the moment. Hackett with a great cross in again. Scar wins the header. It's in the box until Matty James again steps in, and Longman launches it out of play for a throw-in in the Wrexham half, just in front of the halfway line. And yeah, we're continuing to have to dig in. Scar making lots of first contacts with his headers, which is good. Difficult for him to get much distance on them, which is less good because we're having to defend the second balls in the box.
But the movement of the three up front and the midfielders, their rotations are so good that we have to go in. If we're going to be positive, we have to go in and try and stop it. So if Collins drops in, Scar goes right in, but that leaves a big hole behind him. So your communication's got to be spot on between you to make sure you defend it properly.
Great work by Hackett again on the right-hand side, and he prods it down the flank. The cross headed away well by Scar. Hamer, the centre-back, it was overlapping. Wrexham get a throw in by the corner flag. But yeah, Lincoln are certainly playing with a spring in their step, or maybe, as you often see at the end of a season, a complete lack of pressure. They're just going at us.
Yeah, you can see it, can't you? Just that complete freedom in their play, just desperate to get forward, finish the season on a high. And they're doing really well so far in this game. Just again on that right-hand side for him, up against James McLean. Just a few times now he's been beaten.
Well, they said that they've done well against the teams at the top. It's also that, let's go and put one over on the team that's got promoted, show people how good we are.
Here they are again. Nice little pass inside by Dariqua, and another lovely touch by Hackett as McLean overcommits. Ball driven away as it's whipped into the box by Scar. He's probably had the most touches of a Wrexham player so far. Ball worked out wide. Gardner put under good pressure by Longman, and Lincoln forced to go in their own half. Smith puts pressure on. Lincoln are moving it around really snappily. James in the end steps up and forces a back pass, and James is spending a lot of time looking to organise his side and encouraging him to join him in the press, it looks like. Long ball to the edge of Wrexham's area, headed away well by Cleworth. Dobson won't get there though, and Hamilton holds on to it well on the left hand side. Back to the halfway line. Lincoln fans are enjoying this. Rowan has got Collins offering on the edge of the box for the long ball. He plays it square, and it's worked inside, and that's a good advantage by the ref now. Gardner, left hand side, dinks it beyond the far post and out for the goal kick. There's a late challenge outside the box, but the ref played a good advantage and just wasn't taking advantage of that situation.
No, but there's been a few of them, hasn't there, so far in this opening 25 minutes or so, where Lincoln have just been quicker, that little bit sharper to the ball. We've committed, one of them defenders just sticking a leg in, just maybe being a little bit naive at times on those 50-50s. But fair play to Lincoln, they've looked really sharp.
Well, they've just gone 4 up, really wide ones, and then House makes the fourth. So that means us 5, our back 5, are right pinned in a straight line right across the pitch, and then we're outnumbered behind that, and so they're finding the free man really well, and they're causing all sorts of problems for our midfield 3.
Good scrapping and then skill by Rathbone to win the ball from Hamilton and find Brunt. But Lincoln again committing players into the Wrexham half to put pressure on. Erwan maybe sees the danger of Rathbone receiving it a bit too late, and Rathbone's able to resist him. Wrexham really being pressured in their own defensive thirds. Cleworth's clearance is blocked for a throw to Wrexham 35 yards out. Dynamic work this by Lincoln. Wrexham having to dig in with not much possession. Still 0-0 though, 25th minute.
Yeah, Lincoln have also, sorry Mark, have been really good, but actually the back 3 have just dealt with and just been able to absorb all those crosses that have come in the box. They've managed to block and get their bodies on the line or head it out the box. So those middle 3, despite being pulled apart all the time, when balls have gone in our box, we've protected the goal really well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been too easy for Lincoln to get those balls in to make them defend from Wrexham's perspective, as Elliot Lee just had a goal disallowed completely correctly. He was miles offside when he was fed in, and the whistle went long before he took his shot as well. So Vikings with the free kick on the edge of his area, stands at the big diagonal once more. Brunt did well, being backed into by Collins, and again Rathbone is the player onto the second ball. McLean down the line. Rathbone deep in his own half. Does well to wrong foot his man and work it inside. And now here is Longman on the right, taking on his man, driving forwards. First time he's had a chance to do this, but 3 Lincoln players converge on him and in the end emerge with the ball. And Rowan, having won it, switches very intelligently. Hackett had stayed wide. He's got options either side of him here. Uses Collins, who puts the ball in. It's blocked and he tries a wild hack at it on the edge of the box. Was it way off target?
Yeah, Lewis Brunt looked to step in, didn't he, and read it. And then just has to back off because Hackett comes driving at him, as he's done a few times now in this game. And it just, I think Dan Scarr just turns around really. I don't think he intends to get the block in, but it's a really good block, important block. Because I think Collins is just smashing it, whether it's a cross or a shot, I'm not too sure. But again, Lincoln looking strong on the break.
Okonkwo goes long. Smith trying to get there, doesn't carry to him, but James, cute little nudge on. Lee can't get to it. Wrexham want a free kick for Hyde Boot, and Parkinson is out complaining, not given. Matty James jumping, can't win it this time. Collins holding it up back to goal. Back into midfield. Dobson's pressure forces Hamilton to play it backwards, but again they play the ball down the flank and Gardner spins past Cleworth, hits the goal line. Good recovery by Cleworth, gets a foot in. Corner, left hand side again. Threat from Lincoln.
Yeah, he's been really bright, hasn't he, Gardner? 19-year-old, only 1 goal in the league so far this season, but he's looked really sharp out wide. He's looking to take advantage of the space that Longman leaves behind him. Max Cleworth, though, does well.
So corner, left hand side. Hackett is on it. Away swinger. 2 players to mark on the edge of the 6-yard box. 3 lurking on the penalty spot. As it's swept beyond all of them and headed partly away by Scarr. Shot comes in, but Dariqua can't keep it down and he's frustrated of himself as he turns away. Goal kick to Wrexham. But yeah, Wrexham having to work hard here against a Lincoln side who are looking to finish the season in some style. And still the Wrexham fans just keep singing.
Yeah, I don't think they're too bothered, are they?
No,
Down that
exactly.
far end.
Yeah.
Don't really care where the ball is.
They're happy. Long ball forward. Smith muscled out by O'Connor, who then can't get a proper clearance. Wrexham tries to put pressure on, but Dariqua gets ahead to it, gets it clear. Brunt backs himself, takes a difficult, dangerous touch, does it well. Lee prods it on. Now then, Rathbone's got McLean outside, carries the edge of the area, squares it. Lee feeds it out to McLean. And McLean now against Dariqua has got support. Sweeps in the right foot and cross. Smith hits it. Oh, that was just wise. Wow, if that had gone in, that would have been one hell of a goal, wouldn't it?
Well, so much better from Wrexham. Once they get up into that top middle third, this time a couple of little passes and then out to McLean. Normally takes it on his left foot, but he cuts back in. Good timing of Smith's run this time to that near post. And it's just a little bit behind him, so he has to find a way of just hooking it round towards goal. He gets a good contact on it, but just not the right side of the post.
It was an unbelievable first touch by Lewis Brunt, though, wasn't it, to start it off. Lovely little bit of confidence in the middle of the park to bring it down.
Now then, here comes Lincoln. Hamilton works it wide. First time cross by Dariqua. Back to goal. It's miscontrolled. Hunt gives it back to Hackett, who miscontrolled it, and he slashes his shot well over the bar. I suspect the stats will show that
A
Lincoln
lot of shots.
a lot of shots, yeah, exactly. And yet Okonkwo's not been troubled yet. He's had to field a couple of shots from outside the box. Nothing you'd expect to give him any concern. They've really been working the roof of the stand behind Okonkwo as Okonkwo prepares to take the goal kick. But, don't get me wrong, they are getting into the shooting positions. Okonkwo knocks it long. Smith backing into O'Connor. O'Connor, good strength, heads it clear, spins to Hackett in a central position. Collins tackled by Scarr. Goes down, referee says, get up, you're not fooling me. And now it's Okonkwo with the ball at his feet, chipping it forward. Smith against O'Connor again. Well, O'Connor virtually picks him up and pushes him like a shopping trolley, and the ref does give it eventually. But that was quite something, wasn't it?
Well, that was interesting, wasn't it? How he's managed to, it was like lifted him up. Smith trying to pin him and hold him hold his ground, but O'Connor just lifted him up and moved him anyway. Thankfully, the referee, the right decision comes because he is pushed. This is the one thing that we won't have today which will be different to when we play with Rodriguez, is that out ball, if you like, that we can just play and a flick on. Fletcher, the same. Phil Parkinson does like his big man to be in there. One for both boxes from set pieces, but also that out ball if we are under pressure that we can play and then maybe play off a platform.
The free kick led to a scramble on the edge of the box, but Wrexham couldn't tame the ball. Now here's McLean on the halfway line, prods it forwards, well read by Derica, who launches it away. Yeah, I enjoyed that foul on Smith. A bit like, in World's Strongest Man, where they have the thing where they have to carry that big awkward shaped stone, hold her against their chest and stagger their way forwards. It was a bit like that. The Scar has to hurry a clearance under pressure, and Lincoln look to work these little triangles again, which they do nicely. Gardner inside and House immediately out wide onto the overlapping Rowan. Cleworth has stepped up to put him under pressure. The ball's prodded down the line inaccurately by Owen. Goal kick to Wrexham. But yeah, Wrexham having to work without the ball, as Okonkwo understandably just takes his time, taking a bit of sting out of the game over the goal kick.
I just think we're 10 yards too deep, our back three, which means that the pitch is massive for our middle central three midfielders, and they can't get near the ball because they're working back to try and help. We got it so right the last two games, the distances between our units, but today we just seem to be a little bit slower off pushing up the pitch when we've played the ball forward, which makes the pitch too big for the midfielders to get second balls.
Big diagonal by Brunt as a good ball to Longman, brings it down nicely, tries to flick it inside Rowan and picks up the loose ball after it hits the fullback. James pulling it across to Brunt. Rathbone has the air of a man who knows he won't have to play a competitive football match for another couple of months, and he's getting all that energy out of his system now, even by his standards. He's just non-stop. Cleworth over the top, looking for the run of Smith. O'Connor's there. Smith gets his revenge. Parkinson can't believe the ref's given the free kick against Smith with his head in his hands. That was about as blatant as they come. It was like a guy trying to run into a supermarket with the automatic doors, but the doors don't open. He just turned, charged at him and smashed into him.
Yeah, he didn't hide it very well, did he?
No.
eyes on the man pretty much all the way.
Oh, misheader by McLean, and now Hackett's in round the back of the defence. He pulls it back. Derica sings it in first time. Too much on that, and Cleworth will get to it first and knock it down the flank. Something for Smith to chase. O'Connor has to let it bounce, and now it's another wrestling match in these two. And O'Connor obstructs him, it seemed, nothing given. Bit of a risk by Hamer, who just, as the last man, tries to take it past Lee, does so, but he's lost it, and now Lee's driving forward. Smith is square. Lee cuts inside, and he's tackled. Dobson, good vision, pings it out to the left. McLean, bit of space on the left side of the box. His touch isn't great though, so he pulls it back to Matty James, and he tries a long range shot, and he doesn't get it to dip in time. Opportunities there, but maybe Lee had to feed Smith in a bit earlier.
Yeah, I think if he'd seen it just that split second, but that's Lee up nearer Smith. Loads better into his feet, runners going past the ball, and then Lee, his trick just gets away from him. The little Ronaldo chop in onto his left foot just gets away from him, and then the ball from Dobson, very similar to the one at Blackpool, with his other foot out to the wide man, but Matty James not being able to hit the target.
As again Lincoln come forwards, but Collins tries to get a cross in, much too close to Okonkwo. You mentioned the Ronaldo chop. I can confirm Ronaldo is not here today. Okonkwo drops it at the feet of Scar, and he drills it long. Smith backing in. Connell just pulls him out of the way. It's a good foot in by Rathbone, but he can't find a teammate. Although the switch out to the flank is inaccurate, and McLean wins the throw-in. It's blocking off Derica, level the edge of the Lincoln area.
Well, if I'm Smith, I'm thinking, right, I'm in a right wrestling match here, so I might just go and play on Hamer for 2 minutes and just try and change it up a little bit, because it's like at the moment it's who's the strongest out of both of us, and I'm going to show you. I'll run into you, you can lift me up, we can have a little play with handbags or whatever, but really, are you going to mentally try and work it out of how you can get best get the best out of yourself around them, and that might just be moving off him a little bit and not playing at him and in him, if that makes sense.
Well, the ref has stopped the game, and I think was it to have a word with
it was, yeah.
them? Yeah, so throwing now to Wrexham, level the edge of the area, having finished that. McLean got involved as well. So McLean with the throw, level the edge of the box. Looking for options. No movement for him, yes. Rathbone then offers, receives, and goes back to the halfway line. Cleworth squares it to Scar. Longman is stretching play on the right. McLean's much deeper on the left, and he gets it from James. Wrexham trying to draw Lincoln back, and House fouls Rathbone. Free kick in midfield once more. Wrexham keen to get on with it quickly, but we haven't managed to get that tempo going we did in the last 2 games, really. Cleworth back to Okonkwo. Okonkwo doesn't hit that properly. It's gone a long way up, but not all that far out. And as a result, when Lincoln win it back, they're only 25 yards out. Nice little turn by Hamilton. And now a bit of space on the left. Gardner delivers to the far post, too much on it. He'll go behind for the goal kick. Problem made by Wrexham for ourselves there with the Okonkwo's weak kick.
Yeah, well, it went vertical, didn't it? And then the wind, I think, just got a hold of it and blew it back. Lincoln have been really good in getting to these bottom corner thirds just outside the box, but their crossing has been really poor. They've not been able to pick out the right player. They've hit a few over the bar, a few into Okonkwo's arms. They've just got to be a little bit better. The quality needs to be better if they're going to really make this back three of Wrexham, or penetrate this back three of Wrexham, should I say.
Goal kick, Okonkwo to take. 38th minute now. Not long, and headed clear comfortably. And Lincoln will try and break once more. Collins trying to back in to Scar, who again has come across to cover, and he concedes the free kick. A bit of an exaggerated fall, but ref felt it was a foul. I think there were hands on him. Janie Troll on Ask Wrexham says, we've noted the row of 5 traffic cone guys behind the Lincoln goal. If you look carefully, there's another traffic cone about half a dozen rows back. Have they had a row? Is the single cone part of a different street safety faction?
Yeah, the council haven't done a great job, haven't they, putting those out in a straight line?
Oh, they need to get an assistant manager, because if anyone can put cones out in a straight line, it's a football assistant manager, isn't it? Billy Barr was very good at it, I've got to say. Good choice.
Well, I'll come back to Billy after this little set piece here.
So free kick on the left-hand side, about 15 yards out to Lincoln. Wrexham have to hold the line on the 6-yard box. They're a 2-man wall. That gives the go-ahead. Hackett rips it in the goal mouth, and it's gone behind for the corner. No goal kick given. Well, it looked to me like Scar got to it. Okonkwo came for it. Couldn't quite get there through the traffic. Somebody headed it up in the air and behind. Must have been a Lincoln head. They're not complaining, to be fair.
No, I think Scar jumped for it potentially, and it came off the head of one of the Lincoln players and up and over the bar. Maybe Collins. But yeah, Billy was meticulous, shall we say, with his cone setting out. He used to kneel down and look along the height of the cones all the way along, and he used to have Oaksey moving along every 5 yards to each cone and literally moving it a millimetre left, a millimetre right, so that you could get it in exactly the right point and the right line. It was amazing. I ended up getting Les Evans to take some pictures of him, and I got it in I gave it him at the end of the season, a montage of him lying down, looking down the cones. But I was like, why'd you do that? Does it matter? And he's like, well, I can't affect how they train, but I can affect how straight these lines are. Bless him.
Fair point. Trust me, it was noticed. It was like he was lining up a putt to win the Masters.
Absolutely, yeah.
The Okonkwo with the goal kick. Smith again fighting through traffic as well to get there and flicks it on. But Dariqua smashes it deep into Wrexham's half. Brunt heads it clear under pressure. Headed back in once more, but straight through to Okonkwo. Okonkwo bowls the ball out to his right. Cleworth has got Longman outside him. Cleworth carries this to the halfway line. Smith goes on the run. Cleworth looks to find Longman, but he was put under pressure by Hamilton, and when the ball comes back into that part of the pitch, the referee penalises Cleworth for his challenge on Hamilton, who seemed to be getting up and is, I think, complaining. He's saying someone trod on him there or something.
Well, again, very dramatic in my opinion. I don't think there was much in it, but Phil Parkinson certainly told him where to go.
Yeah. And he jumped to his feet with alacrity, didn't he, as well? So, Lincoln have a free kick, and they've gone back to Vikins, the goalkeeper. Still 0-0. 42nd minute we're into now. And Lincoln, for the moment, just moving it about at the back. Vikins hits a accurate flat ball to Dwarika, who cushions her off. Hamer down the flank. That's a nice idea. It's touched inside nicely as well by House. Wrexham half clear, but it's won back by House. And now Erwan has to ride a tackle from Rathbone. Feeds a good ball in towards the edge of the D. Gets it back and then clips it wide. Well read and headed clear by Cleworth. Again, the Wrexham back three having to work hard. That's well read by Dobson. A sloppy pass forwards by Rowan. Scar under pressure, chips it forwards, and Dobson manages to get beyond his man. He's pulled down by Hamilton. Free kick. And Wrexham, I think, would be glad of that. There wasn't much space in there to play, was there?
Not a great deal, no. Have to say, I'm so pleased there's nothing riding on this game.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, we are pretty much second best. I know that we've had an unbelievable week, haven't we? And some of them are probably feeling it in the heat after a few late nights, shall we say. But, yeah, let's not be too hard on them because the work's been done already.
There's Wrexham for the free kick. It's a great header by McLean into the goal mouth. Hacked away for a throw by the corner flag. Yeah, Cleworth stood at the big diagonal. McLean won a terrific leap and header. He's reacting to the crowd having a go at him, which they've been doing all first half. Has the ball in his hands in front of the most vocal Lincoln fans, it seems. And the Wrexham fans join in, pointing out to Lincoln that we're going up. Rathbone, who does well, changes direction, drives forwards, cuts in a cross, headed away by Hamer. And then Brunt pushes Collins in the back, free kick. But you're saying about nothing riding on it. Carla GS says, please no 0-0 draw. At the moment, I'm okay with a 0-0 draw. I think it's a long way to come to watch a team fail to score, but a point at the moment would do me just fine. The fourth official's out with his board, although he's very early. Long ball over the top will bounce through for a goal kick to Wrexham. Yeah, he's looking now at the board and realising that, unlike House at the start of the match, he's really mistimed his run. And he's just going to stand there like a lemon for a minute and a half.
Well, he's not really got a seat, though, has he? Bless him. The two dugouts are, 40 yards apart? So he's got to stay. That's probably the best position for a fourth official in the league, isn't it? If you're nowhere near each manager, they can't get in each other's ear. They're not a yard away from you. But he doesn't seem to have a seat where he can put all his stuff, so...
Oh, it's a great run by Erwan, and Hackett now drives in the box, sight of goal, drills it, great save by Okonkwo, and he does brilliantly to get to the rebound as well. Lincoln fans ask for a penalty, the Lincoln players don't. That's great work by Okonkwo, great chance for Hackett in the right channel, drove it hard and low across Okonkwo. Brilliant, strong right wrist, that's the wrist he broke, of course, in January. And then so quick to get out and pounce on the loose ball. If you're not as big as him with arms and legs as long as him, you don't get to that, do you?
No, he's just shown there why he's one of Wrexham's most important players. Obviously, this season in particular, it's been so good for us, so important at times when he hasn't necessarily had much to do in games. He just always seems to pop up with one of those big saves, and it's a brilliant follow-up as well. He's got to make it, hasn't he? Otherwise, he's in real trouble.
James as well wins it on the halfway and puts it over the top. Smith surely he's offside. He is. Linesman put his flag up earlier than they normally do because I think he was worried there might be a collision between Smith and the keeper, but he was again comfortably offside. And poor old Smith hasn't had much service. 1 minute of added time. As Lincoln again moving it around at the back. Vikins right-footed, drills it long. House is pulled wide. Great leap again by Brunt. McLean into Scar, who hits it long, left-footed, deep into Lincoln's half. Hamer keeps it in, and is a little lucky that O'Connell helps it on. He could have given it away in his own half there. as it is. It's tidied it well, and a lovely little touch to Gardner. Work back to Collins, who had that flick inside. He plays it in, and it's dealt with again by Okonkwo after a fashion. It was Cleworth who got a foot to it as Okonkwo was after it, and he pounced on the loose ball.
It's a great little Cruyff touch by Collins, a little 1-2. But then the pass is just overhit, and a little pull as well just gave him that extra second that he had to go to the byline and try and pull it back. Unable to, and Okonkwo at the near post dealt with it. But Lincoln dominant in that first half. Wrexham with really the half chance of Smith, where he hooked it just wide.
Yeah, it's 0-0 at half time. Wrexham's second best will be, I think, relieved to not be behind. But yeah, we are promoted. Good job, because we are having to really, really work hard here against the Lincoln team, playing without inhibitions, who are snappy. They've got there's a nice feel to their sort of first time passing and movements and up back through sort of passing. They look well prepared, well coached, and quite sharp on the ball. So they were quite direct earlier in the season, but they look like they mix it up a lot more now under a different manager.
Yeah, they have looked really strong at times, even on that break. Just a couple of times caught Wrexham out, just being that little bit sharper, getting to the ball that little bit quicker, just getting ahead of Wrexham in little moments. But you have to say, like Andy touched on earlier, Wrexham have defended their box really well. When the crosses have come in, I know some of them haven't been to the best quality, but they've made sure it's a Wrexham head on it first, or to get that block in and really minimise the real opportunities that Lincoln could have made in this game.
Just to go back to Carla's point about the 0-0, like I say, I'd rather we won, please don't get me wrong, but a 0-0 gives us the 90 points, which would be the first time in our history in the Football League we achieved that, and also we set the new record for most clean sheets in the league and in the season, so there would be something to celebrate in a 0-0. But don't get me wrong, I'm hoping for a 7-0 second half victory, as I'm sure everyone is. Or did I say anticipating or hoping for? Hoping for. I'm
just looking at the scores as well in our league, just to see where the teams. Do we care? I don't know. Wickham are beating Stockport 1-0, and Charlton are beating Burton as well. Leyton Orient beating Huddersfield, and Reading are drawing. So I think that's Orient into the playoffs, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And Burton saved themselves, of course, in midweek, and that's
Absolutely.
nice. You know, there's a lot of Wrexham connections in Birmingham, and certainly the likes of James Jones.
Incredible job that, because they were done. They were done 11 points at Christmas behind, and they've just gone on one of those crazy runs where he's just got a little bit of structure to them, giving them a bit of freedom, and probably enjoying their football a little bit more. Nothing to lose, obviously, in that position. A couple of really good additions. Obviously, the Wrexham boys have gone in. When I spoke to him the other week, he said that his Bodvarsson has been a breath of fresh air around the place. He said that there were, even though he scored a few key goals to get them a couple of winners, he said not just that, even just around the building and everything. He just said he's just lifted everybody, and that's exactly what you want from your additions, isn't it?
Yeah, they've done brilliantly, and it was quite interesting. I saw a few Wrexham fans sort of a bit of blowback on Chris Davis getting manager of the season. I mean, for me, Davis, Parkinson, or Bowyer at Burton all just completely deserve it. Whichever one gets it, fair enough as far as I'm concerned, because all three of them in a normal season would be comfortably deserving winning. Bowyer's, you look at the average points under the manager, the interim manager, who does make an improvement, and then Bowyer, it's insane. And there was a sense from weeks ago, when they still hadn't got out the bottom four, that they're going to do this. They're clearly playing better than the likes of Bristol Rovers. And then, to be fair to Smith, I mean, first club he's been in charge of, a hell of a lot of pressure taking charge of Birmingham. And if they win today, or whenever, it's today, isn't it? They equal our records, don't they, of 111 points.
Yeah, and listen, I think, with the amount of resources that Birmingham have had and it been in this league, you have to doff your cap to them, because that is a brilliant effort from everybody, because the amount of pressure that was on them to do what they did and to go to 108, potentially 111 points, that is ridiculous sum. And I felt when we played them at their place, it was the best League One team I'd seen for quite some time. And yes, they're not a League One outfit with the players that they had, but you've still got to produce that on the pitch in pressure moments. And they've just been really consistent and just absolutely juggernauted the league pretty much. And so that's what, for me, makes this even more a brilliant performance by our boys, is because we're really playing for one spot. Halfway through the season, you're playing for that one spot and there's no two. So absolutely well done to Birmingham, but even better for us.
Yeah, 100%. Let's talk about other glorious achievements. The North Wales Coast FA Cup final on Sunday. Won convincingly 3-1 by Llandudno. And I believe someone not that far from us scored the first goal.
Yeah, Andy, you want to talk us through that? Or No, yeah. After a bit of a slightly late night on the Saturday, obviously celebrating history at the racecourse.
It's the way forward, Mia.
I know, it's not good, is it? No, usually obviously in bed a lot earlier than I was then, but it actually didn't have much of an impact. It actually made a very good impact, really, and luckily finished the season on a high. Was obviously gutted to see that the score in Newport didn't go Wrexham's way as well, which was a bit of a dampener on the weekend, but still, a really good way to end the season, from a personal point of view.
And the goal? Go on.
Yeah, go on.
Talk us through it.
Bit of a James McLean at back post, arriving late, little volley. So, yeah, we take those.
Did you say on the volley then?
Half volley.
Nice. Need proper control for those. Oh, well done. That's superb. I mean, I did say to you, didn't I, on Saturday night that, the whole W.G. Grace 19th century cricket preparation would be stay up all night playing cards and drinking and then go out at Lords and score 100 against Australia. And I just feel that you've found a new way to approach sports nutrition, which is going to blaze a trail for the future. Fantastic, that is. Well done. Yeah, the final at Newport didn't go well. Decent performance. But the key moment for me was after the match, when I managed to blag myself a hospitality wristband, not an armband. It wasn't underwater hospitality, because they had some, a wide selection of bland curries available, and I went to get mine, and I swear to God, a member of staff walked up to me and said, "Oh, this is for players only. Did you play in the game?" And it's quite difficult when you've just been at the Welsh Women's Cup final. It's like I'm thinking, do I say I didn't play in the game because I'm no longer in my athletic peak? I didn't play in the game because clearly I'm in my mid-50s, or I didn't play in the game because, to be fair, I'm not a woman. Anyway.
I'd have just said yes. Just go and get your curry.
I should have done. Yeah. She did let me have it. And she didn't stop anyone else. Loads of people getting it. So she just saw me and thought, I'm not convinced that bloke says he's Erin Lovett. I don't think he is. It worked. Yes, looking on Ask Wrexham as well. We've had lots of interaction already. I actually travelled down with somebody who I inadvertently put on the Ask Wrexham podcast's thumbnail. The Elvis on the thumbnail was in the car with me coming. I didn't realise it was him. He said that the fancy dress party wasn't quite as much fun as it looked, insofar as, shall we say, there was the odd person in fancy dress who used that more to conceal their identity from the police. He said he saw the big white rabbit who's on a lot of the pictures chasing some Lincoln fans down the street after the match. Okay, fair enough. Oh, nice message from Ran, who is listening while driving interstate. Pies and promotions. Big thank you to the legends, Mark, Mia and Andy. It's been another fever dream of a season. Love you all. Oh, cheers, Ran. Right back at you. It's always a joy bringing these games to you guys. There's been King Arthur's Magic Hands is asking if anyone's watching the Orient Huddersfield game. A fight nearly broke out between a Huddersfield player and the Orient coach. I thought Wellens likes sitting up in the back of the stand, doesn't he? So,
well, that's why one of the coaches might be involved in it then if he's not up.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah.
If he's...
Oh, of course, yeah. Absolutely. Vic Schutz says Hamilton's going for a Tony out there. I knew there was some Lin-Manuel Miranda gag about Hamilton, and I couldn't quite get to it myself. But
just having a look at the stats coming through here, Mark, on the half-time. And 23 defensive clearances for Wrexham from their box. It sort of tells a story, doesn't it?
Yeah, 13 of those being headers as well. Just shows the amount of balls coming into the box, but also how well we've actually dealt with them balls coming into the box that we touched on. Some of them haven't been the best of quality, but you've got to make sure you're just in the way of them, especially with the movement of the Lincoln attackers. Wrexham have done really well at times when that ball actually has come in to make sure that they're in the right space at the right time.
Well, 4 of 18 successful crosses as well from Lincoln. I think Wrexham are just going to have to go throw a bit of caution to the wind here and try and be a little bit more front foot. We just seem a little bit off it in midfield that we normally were. Our midfield, when they work, we're so dominant in games, and we haven't had the ball in there in good areas for us to hurt teams. We've been defending a lot of the time, and like I said, if we are 10 yards further back than where we probably should be, then I think that just makes it far too difficult for our midfielders to go and get those second balls, especially when you've not got a big guy up front that it may be able to stick with.
Yeah, we've not. I mean, Longman's not really been able to get up the pitch as much as like McLean has got forwards quite a lot more than him.
Yeah, I don't think Longman's put a cross in yet, has he? I can't remember one where he's gone 1v1 and listen, how many he's put in over the weeks he's been here is frightening. Him and Barnett, you know, they're just crossing machines, aren't they? And to get the best out of him, you want him in that final third going 1v1 and crossing the ball, and we've just not been able to get him the ball in those positions. He's had more the ball in his own half, hasn't he, than in the opponent's half. So that'll have to change in this second half if we're going to be able to get anything out of this game.
Yeah, and he's not. He only needs one though, doesn't he? That's the thing. He only needs the one. Moll's got a brand new Wrexham scarf in the post. That's good to see. And let's see if there's any other stuff on Ask Wrexham we can throw at you. Nice AI version of Arthur Okonkwo with 10 hands. I think that's and a crown. Naturally, King Arthur Okonkwo. And Red Star, our regular critic, is unimpressed with what she's seen so far. That is one grumpy-looking cat. Fair play. Absolutely right. Yes, I was saying to you before the game, Andy, I remember you scoring in the end at Wrexham will be kicking towards the season we went up, 2003, on a pitch with absolutely no grass on it whatsoever.
That's right, it was sandy, very, very sandy, all over. Yeah, I remember we drew 1-1, I think it was, and I scored, but I was about 2 yards out, and I lobbed the keeper. So as it came across, it was a cross, I just hit it, and it's pretty much gone up near my nose, and the keeper sprawled to try and make him big star to block it, and it's just looped up over and then just dropped in the back of the net. I didn't mean it, don't tell anyone, but it still ended up in the back of the net.
Well, you've told me now. My recollection of that was on the stretch, fantastic finish. I'm starting to reassess now, to be honest with you. Heartbroken.
Of how good I was, yeah. No, I've reassessed the whole thing.
Yeah. As Lincoln come back out, Jamie Lightning points out that in every previous season we played in the Football League since joining in 1921, we've had at least one player who scored 10 plus goals in all competitions. Rathbone, Fletcher, Cleworth and Lee, all on 8. So one of them needs a big second half. Hat-trick from Smith, and he could be equal top scorer in the division. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very rare is it that you are a promoted team with nobody getting over 10 goals. You're normally relying on your strikers winning you games during that season. We've spoke about it before, like defensive win your titles, but strikers win your games and goals win your games. But to not have anybody over that, but to have so many on 8 and up that end is quite remarkable. Yeah, it shows exactly how good our defence has been, let's put it that way.
It's strange, I remember the season when in the National League our top scorer had 5 and everybody was really concerned. And yet here we are on 8s. And it's a season I would argue has gone pretty well. Pretty good. So, Second half about to start. Lincoln will get us underway, kicking towards that fantastic packed Wrexham end. They're not in the same part of the ground that they were in for the fancy dress party. Then they were opposite us, basically level the penalty area that Lincoln are now going to defend. But they're doing the Stacey West stand justice, let me tell you. So Lincoln about to get started in the second half. And Wrexham concluding this remarkable season. Can we do it in style? Phil Parkinson has had his say. And now Lincoln drive it forwards down the right flank. Hackett jumps, so does McLean. It goes over both of them, through to Wrexham. Wrexham, of course, have got options on the bench. Plenty of defensive options, ironically, of course, O'Connell and O'Connor. As Dariqua has the ball in his hands, throws it in short, and then Hamer feeds it backwards. Not the best clearance though, and a nod down by Lee is nicely helped on by Dobson, and then Rathbone, great ball to Longman, cuts in the box, right hand side, can he finish? Left foot, it's a good block and it ricochets wide. McLean gets there first, protects it well with his body. Smith, left side of the box, chips it back in, headed by Longman, blocked in front of the keeper. That's the closest we've come. That was a promising start to the half. Lincoln now looking to come forwards, but well, within a minute of the half, Wrexham threatening.
Oh, we spoke about Longman. Any crosses in the box? No. But it's a regain in the middle of the pitch by Matty James, and the ball out from Rathbone goes to Longman. 1v1, just where we were speaking about. Cuts in on his left foot and strikes. A good block. But McLean's able to regain it. Out to Smith and a dink. And I think it's Dobson coming around the back post. Gets in front, heads it. But again, another good block in front of goal. Sees the chance go a begging.
But it's a good start from Wrexham, and now here again, Brunt feeding it forwards. Rathbone to McLean. Wrexham in their own half, building patiently. Dobson helping it back to the edge of the area. Scar. Dobson once more. McLean's available for the diagonal. He plays it early, maybe a little too early, because Dariq was able to step in and head it clear. One now in the middle of the pitch. That's a good spot, works the ball out wide, instant pass inside to Collins, who prods it back to the left hand side. Rowan comes forward, sweeps in a nasty looking cross, and Hackett just can't quite reach it at the far post. Open start to the second half.
Well, Wrexham really deep again, and Lincoln just go into that space in between midfield and defence. Rowan's got loads of time and space. He just puts a ball into a wicked area. And it's Hackett, isn't it? Just can't quite get on the end of it. Arthur Okonkwo, I think, probably makes the right decision in the end to leave it, but it's just in that wicked area where you just need a little touch.
Goal kick then. Okonkwo to take, both sides threatening in the opening 3 minutes of the half. It's a long kick. Smith won't be able to get to it. It ricochets nearly into his path. O'Connor knocks it away, and the ball will be carried back by Brunt, who squares it to Scar. Scar looks long. Smith's made a run, just not quite enough on it though. And again, it's the Lincoln skipper O'Connor who knocks it clear. Ball's fed forwards and is picked up by Collins, driving forwards, works it wide. Hackett's got a chance to cross now, cuts into the box instead, drills a good ball back, great chance, miss hit. Oh, that was a glorious chance. Cleworth got the block in, but that's a heck of a chance. Is it Hamilton who just totally mishit it 15 yards out on his own? Easy clearance in the end for Cleworth.
Well, Hackett decides to go on the outside and he pulls it back onto the penalty area. All the Wrexham defenders have dropped in. Just doesn't get at all any sort of contact on the ball. And it's easy for Max Cleworth to just clear it.
Wow. Big let off that. Rathbone looking to nod it inside, doesn't find a teammate. I'm starting to think as well, partly that maybe Lincoln are struggling a touch, or a mid-table team, because they play some nice stuff, but they haven't been deadly in the box, have they? Here is Collins, and he manages to get past Rathbone. Great recovering tackle. McLean Black to Rathbone, who's virtually on his own goal line on the left flank, sweeps the ball out. A long one. It's a dangerous ball to play that part of the pitch, and it's a throw in to Lincoln.
Well, they brought James Collins in January from Derby County, and he's managed to score 10 goals for them since then and has been one of the better players since Christmas. But yeah, looks like goals and quality of crosses into the box are possibly the major, because they seem to have everything, don't they, in their build-up play. They've got legs, they've got pace, bit of skill, shape, patterns. There's a lot to be positive about around Lincoln. But if you just turn up for the bigger games, then you've got to still do it against the poorer ones as well.
Exactly so. As Lincoln try a diagonal, doesn't work, through to Wrexham. The crowd, by the way, today 10,347 with 1,861 from Wrexham, filling up that Stacey West stand. Brilliant support. So Brunt throws it down the line, looking for Smith on the halfway line. Dariqua gets up in front of him, heads it clear. McLean volleys it away. It's put deep into Wrexham's half again. Collins can't hold it up. That's a snappy ball by Brunt, well taken by Rathbone. Just a switch, Hamilton handles it. Free kick on the halfway line.
Well, I expect to see subs getting a run out very, very soon. They've had a good warm-up at half-time. I'm sure Phil Parkinson had his 70-minute marker anyway on his watch, which he's had regularly this season. But maybe he might see a few more of them a bit earlier, maybe.
But the free kick comes to nothing. Brunt tried a diagonal, put it straight out for the goal kick. It's not going to be taken by Vikens. Lincoln have got, well, it's rolled short to him. The Wrexham strikers don't put pressure on him, but Vikens has to go long. McLean does well to get that header. Hackett and head it away. Dariqua up to the halfway line. Hackett punches the ball back to Hamer. Right-footed ball forward to the feet of Hackett, who turns again sharply. In the end, Rathbone fouls him. Free kick in the halfway line. Dariqua thinks about taking it quickly. I'm just looking down at my 1970s childhood Wrexham badges, and actually the ball's not long. Collins, good strength. Hackett does well to get toe to it, but James put him off and the ball's cleared. Just thinking, again, Smith looks for a foul, doesn't get it. I think the refs were quite right. Lincoln tried to play the diagonal, too strong. Yeah, I'm just looking down. Steve Fox, the ultimate sort of luxury winger. We need to bring him on. He'd make a bit of impact. He was an entertainer and a half, who also wrecked the garden of his landlady because he bought an outboard motor and was told you had to run them in by putting them in a bin of water. You don't. And he just you can imagine the rest. It's overhead ball for Longman. Just brilliant. He's got the ball in. Free header. And out of nothing, Elliot Lee scores. Well, he's on 9 now. Maybe we will get to double figures, but it looked like the pass to Longman was overhit, but well, like we said, he only needs one opportunity. What a cross by him and Lee. Terrific header, 10 yards out. And Wrexham take the lead.
Yeah, I thought exactly the same. I thought Dobson had just got that pass out wide wrong. But Longman does really well. Sometimes they're a bit easier to get on the end of, because you just get that little opportunity more to whip it in a bit better. Longman does so well with the cross. And then Elliot Lee, it's a great header. We know how good his heading ability is. But as you say, that takes him top goal scorer all comps, I believe.
Yeah, well, it's very similar to the third goal last week, wasn't it? Where it got pushed ahead. Dobson pushes it ahead of Longman. He doesn't have to take a touch. And Cleworth doesn't last week, and he ends up running onto it and just playing it first time. And Lee just entering the box just behind that line of defenders. It's a brilliant cross and a good header. Just head it back where you come from. The keeper's obviously moving into the middle of his goal. And keep it down and you score. And it's a great header. Good goal.
Yeah, terrific control on that header. Lovely contact. As from the restart, Brunt gets his head to it and Scar smashes it clear. Well, I summoned the spirits of Steve Fox and we got some wing play. Here's Lee again, driving for us. Longman's naked to space, sprinting onto it. Right side the box, pulls it back. Massive interception by Irwan. Or Lee might well have got into double figures.
Well, Erhan just sticks a left leg out to try and get in the way of a possibly volley just as Lee entered the box again. But it's a good interception out for a corner. But again, Lee on the half turn, his tail's up and drives into the space ahead of him, plays Longman in, who does the pullback, and good defending.
So a corner. Wrexham have a crowd of players on the edge of the 6-yard box. Brunt lurking beyond them, beyond the far post. He's desperate. He keeps signalling as the corner's taken short. He wants it in there. But Wrexham have gone back centrally. Fans telling Longman to shoot. He squares it on, sends it to Dobson. Ball down the line, just too much on it for Lee, who will put pressure on. And he's won the ball back on the left flank. Sloppy defending that by Rowan, who wants it to go out of play. Lee, lovely 360 turn, beats his man, crosses it in. Oh, and it just flicked off Cleworth's head 6 yards out. Heading behind for another corner. Goodness me, Wrexham's suddenly come alive.
Yeah, and it's Elliot Lee, isn't it? He's just grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck, really. He's just so good at that, the little in and outs, body feints, defender doesn't know where he's going, 1 minute, and then gets the ball in. It's a really good ball into the box as well. Dan Scarr, I think it just goes over his head. Just can't get on the end of it. It's a little bit of pinball. Out for the Wrexham corner.
So corner left-hand side. And it'll be an in-swinger. James is on it. Wrexham players lurk around the penalty spot. Referee's going to slow things down, have a chat to people. I mean, obviously, there's no guarantee Wrexham win this game, but my point about Lincoln being mid-table because they play well but don't look that dangerous in the box, we just shown we are dangerous in the box. James puts it beyond the far post, just too high, and Scarr can't reach it. Lincoln go long up to the halfway line. It's attacked well though again by Longman. Wrexham again coming forwards. James, nice little pass inside. Lee once more. McLean in space to his left. He cuts inside. McLean's pleading for it. James doesn't deliver. McLean's frustrated. Now Brunt drives forwards. McLean's still waiting. Brunt delivers it to him. Now then, here he is against Hackett. Cuts it onto his right foot. Helps it on. It's crowded in there, but Wrexham suddenly look confident in these crowded areas. Dobson sweeping it across to the right-hand side. Cleworth, Longman, Wrexham really moving the ball sharply. Longman draws 3 men to him, works it inside. Dobson feeds it in, Smith around the back of defence, tight angle, hits it, saved by Veekins, and he manages to grab hold of the loose ball. Hell of a difficult angle for Smith, but the way he's playing up front and the lack of chances he's been given today, you have a go, don't you?
Yeah, there's no way he was ever passing it. Does really well, just reads it. Reads that ball coming through to his feet, and you just know straight away he's going to go for goal. Just doesn't quite get his foot around it to wrap it round.
Yeah, he's got nobody supporting him. He's running behind, so he has to go for goal, really. I think if you lift it, he's got more of a chance because the keeper's going to spread himself low. But keeper does well to save it. But really good play. Another good pass, probing pass from Dobson, just in behind.
Shows you what a goal can do just for confidence. Just look, immediately a sort of different team on the ball.
Well, here's danger as Dariqua gets around the back of the defence, delivers early. Good defending by Scarr, prods it away. Collins asking for a penalty as he was tangling with Cleworth at the far post, but not with much conviction. As a throw in by the corner flag, which will be taken by Rowan, who of course got the long throw.
Just talking about Elliot Lee there, he's just lifted his game just after that goal. It's amazing what a goal does for your team. His confidence, his centre of gravity is so low. It's a joke. He can turn and check. He's got such a great jab step to turn and change direction.
Throw into the goal mouth, easily taken by Okonkwo. And he'll deliver early. Smith looking to run in behind, and he has got in behind, just about headed clear by Owen, who had a little bit of a nibble at Smith after the ball had gone. Smith wasn't happy. So Lincoln looking to build up from the back once more. Veekins, overhits a simple little pass to Hamer, who has to drill it over the top, and Okonkwo again takes that comfortably.
Well, when your team's got a long throw and Okonkwo stood in that on the corner of the 6-yard box going, go on and just chuck it anywhere in here. I don't care. I'm going to go and grab it. Have to change tack and either throw it a lot deeper outside the penalty spot or change and don't actually throw it in to the box.
Here's Dariqua on the right-hand side, feeding it forwards. Nice pass round the corner by Collins. But Erwan is surrounded by Wrexham players, throws him to the ground, doesn't fool the ref, and Brunt with a typical surge helps it on to Smith. Smith only got Brunt in support at the moment. McLean's there too now. Nice footwork by Smith, just gets out of trouble, feeds it backwards, and Hamilton just leaves a little something on Rathbone as Wrexham shift it out well. This is much better as well in terms of coping with the press. Wrexham moving it around nice, and now that was at the very least, a tread on Dobson's shoe, which taking her off. And he gets an apology, but you get the feeling Lincoln are not cutting up a little bit rough. A little something's just left into some of these challenges. They're not liking the way the second half has turned against them. Rathbone surges nicely past his man. McLean's outside, he feeds it inside cutely, gets it back from Lee, drives to the edge of the area, hits the shot, doesn't quite get hold of it, it skips through. Easy take for Vikings, but yeah, Lincoln looking a bit petulant to me.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mark, but it just opens up, doesn't it, for Ollie Rathbone on that one. Him and Elliot Lee linked up really well in this second half.
Oh, it's a terrific read by Brunt, and McLean's done well, beats his man. Lee now, edge of the D, feeds it back in. McLean helps her on 2-0. What a brilliant goal. Ryan Longman's first goal for Wrexham, and that was absolute class from Brunt, nipping in to the beating of a man by McLean. The perfect little layoff and the help on, and Longman immediately rips his shirt off and swings it round his head in the style of Glenn Little, because he's not likely to get 5 yellows this season, even if he gets his first one now. But that was a lovely flowing move and a brilliant goal.
Yeah, beautiful goal, really unselfish from James McLean in the last bit as well. And like you say, Longman got the top off. I think there's a few in the Wrexham end now with doing the same celebration. But it's a brilliant goal. Been really good in this second half.
Well, McLean just follows it, doesn't he? Just keeps going. Elliot Lee gets on the ball. He rolls McLean in. McLean then just adds it on to an extra little step to Longman. And Longman's not going to miss from there. Side foot in front of goal. He'll be delighted to get off the mark for Wrexham. I think he's been a brilliant addition to the squad this season. And really looking forward to see how he goes in the Championship. Like ridiculous competition for places, isn't it, down that right-hand side?
Yeah. Well, we haven't gone into the transfer window yet either, as Wrexham scrapping. Lincoln can't bring that ball down, and Massey James typically intercepts. Lincoln get it back. James is chasing. I've got to say, in the first half, when we didn't get our fluency going at all, hats off to the back three and Massey James, who, when the game's not going your way, was still putting in good quality performances, and other players have raised themselves linking with them. And this suddenly is looking like a promotion team, isn't it?
Well, you just think, and this is how often we said it is, how are we 2-0 up? But when we get into those key positions, our quality is really, really good. We didn't have a chance in the first half, but this second half, when we've had that opportunity, we score. And I'm telling you that the defence this season has got us out of this league. Simple as that.
There's Hackett again now down the right-hand side, pulls it inside, and it's received by Hamilton, but he's forced away from goal. Good work until Rathbone rather impetuously runs into his back. Hamilton again feels the contact, goes down. Brunt, I thought, had him under control there, just fed him out to the corner flag, and there was no real support. But as there is, chance for Lincoln to rip a ball back in. Rico Hackett is on it with Gardner, who was so impressive in the first half, being pretty quiet in the second. Well, Hackett's taken both free kicks in the first half when there was a chance to rip it in. Gardner was just there as furniture. But will he now put something in himself? Big crowd of players in the 6-yard box, and a lot of pushing and shoving beyond the far post. Again, it's Hackett who sweeps it straight behind into the delighted Wrexham fans for a goal kick.
Yep, straight into the traffic cones on that back post.
That's why that one's at the back.
Yeah, it nearly picks him out, didn't it? Lincoln are going to make changes, understandably, because this half has not gone the way they planned. Jack Moylan is going to come on, and so is Tom Bayliss. And off comes Gardner, which I guess illustrates his fading influence on the game. And also coming off will be Ben House. And when we think of how the front four were asking questions of Wrexham in the first half, it tells you just how quickly and 19 minutes this game has changed. Half of them are now off the pitch.
Yeah, and we can't say it enough. You just got to give full credit to that defence and obviously midfield as well, especially Matty James. Like you say, Mark, I thought he was brilliant in that first half. Just the amount of ground he covers, just the little stuff that often goes unnoticed.
Goal kick taken, headed clear, well won in midfield in the air by Dobson. But Lincoln pick up the second ball, good touch by Owen, and he works it wide. Dariqua now has got runners ahead of him, feeds us to the edge of the area. It's a decent take by Bayliss as well. And on the right hand side, he's clipped by McLean, at least that's what the linesman says. McLean's going to get booked. I think McLean's arguing he didn't make any contact on him and it was a dive, but McLean gets the yellow.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see it back. I don't think there was much contact, but I think maybe there was a little tug before and he's just gone into an area. He's knocked the ball. He's quite smart, Bayliss. Just knows he's not going to get on the end of it, and the ref's always going to give that one. I think the liner's always going to give that one in front of him.
Well, Hackett's had a sighter from this position that he hit into the traffic cones, so hopefully he should be better.
Hopefully.
Oh, well, he should be better, should I say.
He takes a very deliberate run up. Wrexham holding a line there to 6-yard box. The noise coming from the Wrexham end's terrific. And Bayliss again fakes to take it. Hackett hits the first defender in near post. James gets it clear to the halfway line. The ball is slung back in by Dariqua and will go out of play, dribbling apologetically for a throw by the corner flag. If I was
wrong, by the way. Yeah, he didn't get any better.
I think you've got every right to say that, but I think surely if you're Bayliss, you're saying, you know what, mate, you're not taking the next one. He's had 4, 2 in each half now, and none of them have really come particularly close to hitting a target. So, throw into Wrexham. Cleworth is extravagantly told by the ref to get backwards, and then Cleworth takes it from the same place anyway, throws it down the line. Bit of head tennis, still Rathbone picks it up, just a bit of a heavy touch, can't quite drive forwards. Hackett now in a central position, carries it out wide. He's got an option outside him, but doesn't use it, and now he sets himself and pulls it back 25 yards out. Hamilton, Wrexham are back in numbers, but it's a shot which is deflected just off target. Another great block by Scar. He is a proper meat and potatoes sort of defender, isn't he? Does the basic centre-back stuff so well.
Yeah, but I can assure you that these defenders, Arthur Okonkwo and goal, will be really determined to keep another clean sheet and take us up to what will it be now? Is it 24? I think it would take us to for this league season, which is just remarkable. And yeah, they'll be determined, to finish this game with another one.
Moylan it was who had the shot, and the two subs, Moylan and Bayliss, have already added a bit of neat build-up play to Lincoln's attempts. Referee's not happy with the shoving and pushing in the far post. Thomas Kirk, the ref, has refed us twice this season. Lost away to Stockport, lost at home to Stevenage. So can he now?
Well, the ref's pulling a couple of players, but it could be any of the 10 in there, couldn't it?
Yes,
all of you lot come out.
There's a hell of a lot of players in there, and the ref just stands there and goes, "Come on." And I was, who, me? Eventually he's got the apparent culprits. So it's a corner. Bayliss offering for a short corner. It's Hamilton and Lee, the two players involved. Two great names, goes from American history. As the in-swinger is driven towards the edge of the box, actually, and easily headed away. But Dariqua works it back. Bayliss helps it down the line. Ball swept in once more, and again, good header, this time by Scar. Smith has to hurry Dariqua, who's the last defender, and when he clears it, it's volleyed back over the top. Smith won't get there, but it was a great idea, that, by McLean. Just smashing it down the line. If hadn't rolled to play, Smith would have been in.
Well, he saw it very early, that Smith and Dariqua were on the floor, and that if he played it in that right channel and got him on the run, then it was going to be a 1v1. Just hooked it, probably got it too well, actually, as it fell. And just rolled out of play.
You might guess from the song, Fletcher is stripped off. There's another player stripped off down there. I think it might be Barnes. Wrexham win it back again. Lee now waits for McLean to arrive on the overlap and then cuts inside anyway. He now finds McLean with Dariqua isolated. Level the edge of the area onto his left foot. Well blocked by Dariqua. Will it be a throw to Wrexham? The backspin helps Deriqua out massively. He prods it forwards. Hackett's on the corner of his box, under pressure, and Deriqua gets it back and smashes it away. Intelligent header by Cleworth. Nice touch by Longman, who looks to go outside, then cuts inside. Good feet by him. Wrexham shifting it around in midfield. Everyone behind the ball for Lincoln. McLean on the left once more, draws players to him, pulls it back. Brunt works it inside. Dobson, good ball out wide again. Wrexham have worked it so McLean has got his man at Deriqua isolated. Feeds it to Rathbone, he drives in the box typically. Good tracking back by Hackett just to stop him getting a shot off. McLean pops it inside. Wrexham looking very confident on the ball in this half. Lovely ball around the corner by Lee, who's grabbed hold of by Erwan. Raff again doesn't give it. He's not been quick on the physical and off the ball stuff, but Wrexham keep the ball anyway. And Lee prods it inside. Yeah, Lincoln just can't get close to the ball at the moment. Fletcher and Barnett have walked across to the halfway line to the fourth official. McLean pops the ball inside. Wrexham looking so confident. Must have had the ball for way over a minute here. Cleworth down the line. Longman now's got a pass down the line again. Dobson back heels it. Wins a throw as he tried to find Longman on the underlap. And now here comes the change. Fletcher and Barnett will come on. Longman, having got his first Wrexham goal, will make his way off, and so will Elliot Lee. The two scorers come off. But wow, what seasons they've had. I mean, Lee dropped out of the team a lot in the last half of the season, but as it stands, he's going to be our top scorer, which is pretty remarkable. And Longman came in halfway through and made a huge impact.
Well, it just shows how good he was in that first part of the season, Elliot Lee, to get those goals. A really crucial goal away at Crawley for the winner, to get us on our way since in February. But great to see Ryan Barnett, Team of the Year as well. Massive credit to him. And at some points in that first half of the season, he was just unplayable, Ryan Barnett. He just on top of his game and probably in the top three of players in the league at that point.
Oh gosh, 100%. So throw to Wrexham. Lever the edge of the area. Barnett's first job is to get involved and throw this one in. He throws it back into midfield. And Dobson will keep that ball moving. Cleworth back down the line, finds Dobson a bit of space. He stands it in. Smith looks offside. He is offside. Took it well on his chest into the box, but he was ahead of play. That, I've got to say, that looks like quite a fun away end to me.
Well, Ryan Longman made the decision, didn't he, to not run off over to the other side and actually walk all the way round, and he's made a very good decision there because he's getting absolute brilliant set of applause and high fives and everything from those fans.
Quite right too, as Lincoln are preparing a triple sub to go the double sub they made before. Oh, Hackett's pass isn't the best. Hamer's done well to get there ahead of Smith, but then it's given away, and Rathbone's caught late by Hackett. And like I said, there's a little thought in my head that a Wrexham player could get hurt here because Lincoln are going in a bit late. Referee's not walking across with the alacrity of someone who's going to show a card. Hackett managed to get Rathbone up, but he's limping, and yeah, Hackett gets the yellow, which is the least he should have got, frankly. I was late, and Rathbone struggling there. No.
Well, I was just before today, I was looking at the discipline of our team this season, and it is quite remarkable that with no red cards is an incredible achievement from everybody, because you can quite easily get 2 yellows wrong, in a season. But also, did James McLean miss a game for a suspension? 5 yellows? Did he not? I don't know. But if he didn't, then that's no suspensions as well for the team. And to do that just shows that we have been brilliant in our attitudes towards that type of thing. Because when you miss players and you have to change the team, it does play its part in upsetting the apple cart, if you like. And at Park, he's had a fully fit, fully unsuspended team to pick from.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just having a look. Now, it was amazing to me that McLean gets so many yellows and never gets the second one for us. He's had 2 seasons now. I mean, he's only yellow now. Maybe he'll go for it as he stands up to the edge of the area, just beyond Fletcher. Barnett keeps her in, chance to cross. Sweeps it to the far post. Keeper gets that as Smith tries to under pressure. As the Wrexham fans singing for Joey Jones. Up in the top right corner of the stand opposite us, the Lincoln fans have broken out some big red and white flags. But it's the Wrexham fans making all the noise as Rathbone fights away and wins the ball. Brunt then put under pressure. I'll go for the substitutions in a moment as well, as Cleworth now has it and helps it on quickly. Irwin's come off, and so too has Hamilton and Hackett. And in their place, Freddie Draper, Zane Okoro, and I think McGrandles came on as well, didn't he? Yeah, McGrandles. The ball's not long, headed partly clear, and then Bayliss doesn't get the best contact on that. A massive volleyed clearance and deep into Wrexham's half. Flag goes up. Tom O'Connor is about to come on. A quarter of an hour left.
I think another player, sorry Mark, Tom O'Connor, someone maybe people will forget, played a good number of games this season, started a lot of the earlier ones in that back three. He's played a really good part. Obviously been part of this squad for a few years now.
30 games.
Yep.
You soon forget, don't you?
Absolutely.
That first part of the season.
That recency bias, you just forget that earlier part in the season, the part they've played, the part they obviously continue to play, just part of that squad as well, but really important player for us, continues to be another one of those where you look back and go, wow, it was a really good signing earlier on by Phil Parkinson and his staff.
Well, fair play. Those Lincoln fans with the flags are now bouncing up and down as well and looking to make atmosphere to mark the end of the season. Wrexham knock it long and it's headed clear by Rowan. Again, this time Boylan's on the midfield. Bayliss pops it to him, gets it back and tries to drive over the top. Not the worst idea, looking for a Curry. And it clearly hits McLean's hand. Ref doesn't give it. Brunt driving forwards, gets past one man, feeds it to the feet of Smith. Attempted return pass intercepted by Deriqua. Throw into Wrexham. I think the ref had to give that. Surely he didn't see it. It wasn't deliberate, but his arm's miles away from his body. Here is McLean using his foot this time. Drives infield and squares it on. Dobson, good ball out to Barnett. McLean, Cleworth starts to come into ball, but Barnett sprinting down the flank, taking on his man. And it's decent defending, to be fair, to run the ball behind for the goal kick by Draper. I'm just looking at that suspension thing. I'm sad enough to be recording stuff like that. Oh, McLean had 1 game suspension.
Yeah.
Gutted. Sorry.
Just not good enough, is it?
Away to Burton Albion. Yeah. Because my recollection was that he was on he survived that yellow card game. Was, hang on, danger here. As Wrexham lose the ball sloppily in the halfway line. Ball fed wide, driven in. Okonkwo again saves. Wasn't the best finish in all honesty, but the ball's carried well by McGrandles, driven shot, saved low down to his right at the near post.
Yeah, my memory is 2 yellows. He was on 2 yellows for ages. Yes. 9 yellows for ages, and he had like 10 games to get through, and we were like, no chance. And he did. He managed to get through them.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Bless him. So Okonkwo, having made that sharp save at his near post, but he would have been disappointed if it had got through him. Hits it long, massive kick that. Partly clears, important foot in by Rowan. The good ball back in by Dobson, and a shot from the edge of the box by Fletcher. Snapshot on the turn. Sharp save low to his right by Veekins. So keeper Veekins plays it short this time. Fed back into midfield. McGrandles helps it over to Dwarika. Okure's ahead of him and receives this. McLean steps out to force him back into midfield. And then a big switch over to the left-hand side. Cleworth putting pressure on the ball. Wrexham holding in that mid-block, leaving Fletcher and Smith up front as Lincoln feed it again down the left-hand side. And Rhodes trying to get past his man. Goal kick in the end. And, yeah. This is looking promising, isn't it? Now, 79th minute. The Wrexham fans under beautiful Lincoln Cathedral. I like this ground, it's nice. And this stand's got these nice glass sides. So you can see Lincoln Cathedral up on the hill to our right. It's a nice, neat stadium. Lincoln Cathedral, fab fact, was at one point the tallest building in the world. There used to be a big lead-lined wooden spire on top of the main tower. As Cleworth stands it up. And it was destroyed by an earthquake. Fab fact. That's a thing, isn't it? Anyway, here is Okore. He's looking lively on the right. He's driven well to the edge of the area until Brunt steps in. Cool layoff by James. Not the calmest clearance by Cleworth, though. Shot comes in, and Cleworth does well to block that. Lincoln continue to try and put pressure on. Ball threaded in. Collins falls, gets the free kick. James complains. I think there was contact. I'm not sure James is actually looking to make a challenge as much as Collins maybe turned into him a bit, but it's a shooting position, this.
Yeah, it was nice little footwork by Collins, wasn't it? A little drag back. I agree with you, Matt. I don't think Matty James is really looking. There's not too much in it, but we had the opportunity to get rid of it. Matty James, cool as ever, just plays it into Cleworth. I don't think is expecting it, nor probably wants it just before, and it just comes back into that area, and I think it is a free kick. Bit of a dangerous opportunity.
Shame Hackett's not on to take it. But he looked like a good player, but on set basis he was no great threat. But they have two men on it, and Wrexham's line is behind the penalty spot. The free kick in the D. So,
well, it's the first time we've really spoke about Collins this second half, isn't it? He was right on top of us and was causing all sorts of problems in that first half, and had a couple of half chances. But just in this second half, he's not been able to just get in the game because we've been so much more dominant.
Gosh, exactly so. So Rowan, the left back, is the left-footed option. Bayliss, the right-footed option. Ref gives the go-ahead. Bayliss drills it into the wall, comes back out. Rowan, 25 yards out, stands it back in. That's into a good area, but again, a good defensive header by Scar. And when the ball drops loose on the edge of the box, leaning backwards, it's slashed by Collins into the way end, to the delight of the Wrexham fans, who are having the most lovely of times back there. They haven't stopped from second one, have they? Wow. Here comes another change. Marriott is coming on. And that'll have to be the last change, of course, the third substitution window. McLean feeds it to the halfway line. Turned by O'Connor. Gets lucky to ride the challenge from Bayliss and feeds a nice pass to Smith. Dobson digs out a pass back into his own half. And now as Lincoln look to step up, Wrexham shift the ball around. O'Connor lifting it for Smith around the back of the fence, and he can't get there. Just too much on it. Difficult pass to weigh correctly anyway. Unless you're Matty James, obviously. Now then, Lincoln going down the other way. Fed in around the back of the fence and handled beautifully by Brunt, who accelerates across, intercepts, and then coolly plays the ball out. Dobson equally calm under pressure, and Cleworth knocks it long. Fletcher on his own, battling, wins the first header and the second, and it'll bounce through to the keeper. Still Marriott waits. But yeah, the Wrexham fans, it's a long way to come. But they're relishing every second. Okore again down the right, running up McLean, wins a corner off the Wrexham left wing back.
They've done a lot of bouncing, haven't they? Those fans, yeah. the calf raises are through the roof.
They've got their steps in today without moving. So, corner, right hand side. Still Marriott waits. Because Smith, who you assume is a player to replace, is back defending. Not that he's marking anyone. He's standing like covering the short corner, I guess would be his argument. Everyone for Lincoln is beyond the far post. Sorry, beyond the penalty spot, I should say. The ball is swept in and headed clear by Cleworth, volleyed away then. Smith can't reach it, edge of the area. And it's worked wide for Bayliss, who can punch it down the line first time. Chance for McGrandles to cross now. Two men on him. Pulls it back. Bayliss chips it in towards the far post. McLean felt he was fouled. Ball skidded off the Lincoln man's head for a goal kick anyway. Marriott for Smith then. With 6 minutes of the half left. And you've got to say, Sam Smith, well, bringing him in January was certainly paid off, didn't it?
It has helped Massively, just added another dimension to that forward line. His constant running, we knew we wanted a hard worker up there, and we knew that that's exactly what Phil Parkinson wanted in his group, but his quality as well on top of that. And what the big thing for me was when we brought him in was that he was playing and he was scoring goals at this level, which is hard to do because you've got to pay the money to get those types out of clubs, but we were willing to go to that because he was in that type of form. He wasn't on the sidelines, he was playing and in form.
Oh, Fletcher's in here! And the keeper just about jumps and blocks his shot. Fletcher still, though, pulls it back, and O'Connor launches it over the bar. It was just misjudgment at the back. Fletcher kept chasing. It was one-on-one. Viekens made himself big, did that whole starfish goalie thing that didn't work against you, Andy. Fletcher forgot to miss it and drilled it into his chest.
Yeah, just a long ball up and drops in between keeper and defenders. Fletcher goes over the top of him, but he reads that and manages to get a good block.
Wow. Wrexham looking to pressure the ball. Marriott does really well to nick it from McCorry and Tom O'Connor. And now Wrexham have it once more. Ball switched out to Barnett again. A chance to run at Rowan. Cuts in on his left foot, pulls it back into midfield. Dobson goes diagonal into the box, finds Fletcher, 15 yards out, back to the edge of the area. He works it to O'Connor. Lincoln swarming round the ball, trying to stop Wrexham with a chance to shoot. Cleworth plays a little give and go with Barnett. Barnett's going to take on Rowan again, though. Hasn't any change out of him yet. He stops and starts and pulls it back to Cleworth. He delivers early. Easy header clear for Porty O'Connor to Tom O'Connor. Dobson again out to Barnett, and this time he does deliver, but it's too close to the keeper. Easy take as it bounces through. Didn't get a hold of that one.
Rowan got a block on it, I think. Just takes the sting out of it and rolls to the keeper.
There's a pillar in the way, and stuff seems to have happened behind it from my angle all the time, so I couldn't even see he was there. Dobson tried to feed a cute little through ball for Marriott. Intercepted and quickly fed out to the right. Corey again skins Brunt, who rather sold himself. McLean comes across shoulder to shoulder, and never a foul. Ref doesn't give it. I thought Corey put his hand on that then to claim the free kick. Maybe he didn't, because play continues and Brunt gives it away. Not for long. Good tracking back by Dobson, and good vision by Scar. Works out to the right. Barnett now has got Marriott making the only thought of playing it in, but was worried about Marriott going offside. So Dobson now has it, rolls in Cleworth on the overlap. Dobson again. Lincoln have filtered back into position in their own half, in the mid-block. And O'Connor works it to James, clips over the top. Wrexham wants a free kick.
That was that pillar getting in the way again.
Yes, it was. Marriott ran into the pillar. There's a centre-back hiding behind it. He didn't get his decision. Darikwa on the right. Wrexham just 2.5 minutes plus added time away from an absolutely remarkable, historic season as Matty James intercepts easily. And now Brunt, as Lincoln commit 3 players to press in the centre-backs. They go back to Okonkwo. He feeds a ball, but too much on it for Barnett. Throw on the halfway line. 1993. I always thought it was really evocative. The first time I heard Wrexham fans singing what they're singing now. E-I-E-I-E-I-O, up the Football League we go. And now here, hearing it again, 32 years later, still sends tingles down your spine. As the ball is switched to the left, Ron feeds it into the box. Good tackle to claim the ball back again by Cleworth. And then Marriott put under pressure deep in his own half, but he keeps buzzing around typically. Passes to O'Connor, happy to trust him under pressure, and Wrexham pressed in their own box, worked their way out nicely, and now James comes striding out, carrying it to the halfway line. Dobson in no rush. Barnett, as Fletcher makes a run over the top, doesn't play him in.
Well played, Lewis Brunt in the back. He's in the side of his box. Have you got the composure to find your player? Yeah, shock, it's Matty James in the middle of the pitch, just free, wanting the ball.
Ultimately, the long ball doesn't find Fletcher, but Dobson's fighting, can't quite get there. Brunt steps in and fouls his man, I thought. Got hold of him, nothing given. The loose ball picked up on the halfway line by Dariqua. Wrexham have got defenders behind the ball, though. Okore pinging it in, 15 yards out, gets it back and plays a pause ball across the face of the box. Dobson finds Marius, excellent recovering tackle to deny him by Bayliss. Now
just leaves the ball on the wrong side of him there, Marriott. If he keeps it on that right-hand side of him, then the Bayliss has to go through him and brings him down, but he brings it across onto his left-hand side and Bayliss is able to steal it.
Here now, Dariqua level the edge of the area, pulling it back into midfield. McGrandles lets Dariqua take over. His cross blocked by O'Connor, spins to the edge of the box. Well watched and won in the air by Barnett. When the ball's brought down again, Matty James gets a foot in. It ricochets around in the D. 4 added minutes left as Matty James leaves a foot in, catches Okore. Free kick, again in a shooting position.
Yeah, again, it was a bit of a scramble in there, wasn't it? Lincoln, just don't look too dangerous when they do come forward in those areas, particularly in the second half. It's so much better in the first half, a bit more snappy, a bit more sharp. But since those changes, obviously, have lost a bit of their flow momentum. But opportunity for him to get something here.
Well, we should have kept a clean sheet of Blackpool and conceded right at the end. And now, again, Wrexham have to work to keep that clean sheet. Enough time left in this, of course, so Lincoln to look for an equaliser if this goes in, unlike a Blackpool. Okonkwo trying to see round the side of his 5-man wall. As the Wrexham fans, like I say, almost oblivious to what's going on the pitch. Too busy having a good time, and quite rightly. They're complaining about the distance as Rowan leaves it. It's driven, just over. Good free kick that. It was hit right-footed. I think Okonkwo, who was lunging acrobatically, may have had it covered, but Moylan struck that well just over the bar.
Yeah, good free kick. Okonkwo just teased him into that one, I think, going that side. Leaves it open, over the wall. I think he probably had it covered. It was middle-ish of the goal as he was flying across.
It's a goal kick. Okonkwo steps up, right-footed, drills it long. It's helped on well by Fletcher. Marriott tries to spin in the D. Can't get enough of a touch on it, and it goes behind to the keeper. He bowls the ball out. Bayliss, who for me has brought a bit more life into Lincoln's midfield in the second half, helps it out wide. Dariqua feeds it in. McGrandles round the corner. Ball is held up by Collins and it's driven over the top. Too much on that, though, for Draper to get onto. Brunt feeds it back to Okonkwo. Okonkwo chased by Draper, knocks it long, helped on well by Marius, but Lincoln win it back. Wrexham drop off again into that familiar shape, that solid defensive unit which has done us proud this season. The ball in the centre circle as the Wrexham fans prepare for, well, another party. They have been fabulous, absolutely fabulous, this Wrexham support, all through the game. And we are so close to the end of an historic season as Wrexham partially clear. Fletcher chases, can't quite get there. Again, it's Bayliss who's there to tidy up. And now McGrandles working it wide to the left. But Wrexham, yeah, we've achieved back-to-back-to-back promotion. First time ever in professional football in Britain. As the ball is floated in and McLean wins a good header. It's picked up again, though, and Draper looks to turn, hits a shot, and it dribbles through to Okonkwo. Okonkwo makes a man come to him before picking her up. And Okonkwo now just wandering around the box in the closing moments of this phenomenal season. Big kick, headed powerfully clear. Lincoln come forwards again down the left hand side. The good interception though, sharp play, and that is it. That is the end of the 2024-25 season, and it's another historic one for Wrexham. Back-to-back promotions. First time in British professional football that has been done. And the Wrexham fans in fancy dress who have travelled here 1,200 all the way to Lincoln are absolutely loving it. Wow, Wrexham win 2-0. We end the season on 92 points. Most points we've ever achieved in the Football League, even taking into account adding 3 wins for a win in the days when you got 2 points for a win. And wow, this has been quite an achievement that we've been privileged to witness, isn't it?
Well, it's just been quite a few years, hasn't it? It's remarkable, really, what these players, staff have managed to achieve. And full credit goes to them. I hope they have, could have the party of all parties for the rest of the summer now. They all enjoy Vegas or wherever they may end up, because they absolutely deserve it. Wherever they want to go, let them go, because they've worked so hard through this season. Not a lot of people knew what to expect coming into League One, but wow, every single game they've put in absolutely everything. And like we say, full credit to that defence. It's been absolutely remarkable this season. But let's also give a lot of credit to those fans. I mean, absolutely amazing again today. Just sum up this season, really, away from home as well. They've travelled in their numbers, sang their absolute hearts out, and they deserve one hell of a party too.
Yeah, monumental season, Mark. And every player that's played their part in that, and that goes to squad players that have played 1 minute through to 45, 6, 7, 8 games. All of them deserve a huge pat on the back and a congratulations, because this is not easy to do. And all the staff behind the scenes that have played their part deserve everything that's come in their way, because they have been the second best team in this league and they've proved it.
Oh, 100%. This game was a test. Lincoln, the better side in the first half, but Wrexham defended stoutly. And then in the second half, Ryan Longman ripping in a glorious cross. Elliot Lee with a great header to give Wrexham the lead, which meant that he ends the season as top scorer. And then the second goal coming, a lovely flowing move. Longman finishing it off after receiving it from a determined run by McLean, and that's his first goal for Wrexham. And now we see the Wrexham fans absolutely going nuts in there with the players in front of them. It was a sort of second half performance which a promotion team puts in, doesn't it, though? And Parkinson got them sorted out in the second half. It was comfortable.
Yeah, that performance there just pretty much sums up the whole season for me. The way they went about doggedly keeping in the game and staying in the game when they were backs against the wall, and then when they have their chance and that quality comes out in that second half, they really put the nail in the coffin and managed to take those opportunities. A very good performance today, second half especially, really on the front foot, and when they create those chances, they've got players that can really hurt teams.
The Wrexham fans are getting gifts. Wrexham players running into them and giving them their shirts. James McLean has been given an Irish tricolour, and he is enjoying it with those fans. The traffic cones are delighted, absolutely delighted. This has been a season for the ages, and I mean, no club apart, I suppose, from Man City winning the league 3 times has ever done what we've done, had 3 back-to-back seasons as great as these. And these are the great times that most football fans never get to experience. As the Wrexham, look at that, Wrexham players running up and celebrating, cheering, Parkinson punching the air. But I mean, no fans get these sort of 3 years of these sorts of results. 4 years, frankly, as we nearly did it the first season under Parkinson. These are remarkable times.
Yeah, these are the days. You've just got to enjoy them and get as much out of them as you can, because who knows what's going to happen in the future. Obviously, we all hope it just continues in the way it sort of has, but honestly, the work that's gone into this team, the belief and everything that they've put into this season and seasons prior, it can't be overestimated what they've achieved. So impressive, so remarkable. I know people will say obviously the money that's gone into it, but it's not as easy as that. You've still got to go out there, perform against top teams. I mean, look at the quality in the league just this year. It's been really good quality. You know, some of the teams we've been up against, like your Birminghams, your Wickhams, your Charltons, it's just so good. And like you say, you just got to hope that they can go out and enjoy it now, because I can only echo what Andy said. I think it's been such a squad, you know, sort of mission complete this year. It hasn't just been one or two that you can pick out. That's why, you know, there's been a lot of debate over player of the season, because there's just been, you know, so many of them have just gone out and done it as a team, as a group, and that speaks to the quality of character of this team, and the, you know, the characters that Phil Parkinson have brought in, because they're all absolutely top human beings.
Well, the recruitment staff have to take massive credit as well, because in the summer they went and poached some players, and then when needed they were always ready to be able to put names in front of Phil Parkinson for whoever they wanted to come in. And the good thing is that we had an opportunity at Christmas to go, and we were able to do that and step on the gas, and not many teams can do that and go, and we were able to go, really put our foot on the throttle and put our foot on the neck, if you like, of the other teams, and really give ourselves the best opportunity, because these chances, they don't come around very often. And quite easily, if we hadn't managed to get over the line, we could have been 12th at this stage next season, and it just doesn't happen, and it sort of peters out, but that momentum carries you forward. And congratulations to everybody behind the scenes who has worked so hard for this to come true, and gives the players the best chance to perform, and they've certainly done that for this season.
Oh, they've been outstanding, haven't they? Absolutely outstanding. And well, they get to have another party tomorrow, which is very nice, of course, for the player of the season.
Yeah, really looking forward to it.
I should point out that, I mean, the Lincoln fans are hanging around because they will be having their post-match presentations, but a lot of them are applauding very sportingly the Wrexham team as they came off the pitch as well. They recognised in that second half that they were up against a very strong side, and they have delivered for all of us.
So, Mark, how many promotions have Wrexham had?
Right, I want to say eight, but it could
I
be
want to
seven.
say eight
Yeah.
as well. I looked the other day. 3 have happened in the last week. Wrexham have been a thing for 160 years. So work that out in your percentages, people at home. This does not happen, right? And it has happened to us. And with owners right from the top, right down through the things, please enjoy it, because it's not going to happen. Or is it going to happen?
Oh, in a year,
again,
won't it?
Come on.
Well, I mean, you're quite right, and even I can do this maths. 8 promotions in 160 years means, strictly speaking, Parkinson has improved the odds, so now you only have to wait 20 years for a promotion. Got to say, for 61 of those years, it wasn't possible to have promotion.
Don't tell anyone that.
But I'm not telling anyone. Yeah, exactly. That would just spoil things, wouldn't it? But yeah, absolutely. So it's been an amazing achievement by Wrexham. The dust will settle, and we'll see just how remarkable it is as it all starts to soak in. But that's that for now then. The Wrexham fans are making their way out in their fancy dress. I can see, I think that may be Queen Elizabeth I there in a ruff, looking a bit rough as well as she's making her way out. And wow, what a season it's been. Can I just say thank you to everyone listening or watching at home, because the interaction we have with you, the support that the club has, the just downright niceness and friendliness of you guys is wonderful. And when we use the Ask Wrexham hashtag, or when we get feedback, I mean, honestly, we can't thank you enough, and we hope you've enjoyed this journey as much as we have. And Mia and Andy, can I just say what a privilege it's been to be learning with you while watching the games, because that's what I've been doing, and honestly, it's just been a treat. And I'll see you at Ipswich next season.
Oh, don't. No, thank you both. Really enjoyed it. You know, you make it so much fun when we come, and we hopefully enlighten a few people to what's happening on the pitch, but we're also here to enjoy ourselves as well, as much as show you and talk through the games. So it's been a massive privilege and an honour for me anyway, and I've learned so much from both of you as well this season. Thank you.
You've learned nothing from me, just like any kid I taught.
How to plug that in there is a very difficult thing.
That's my job. I can set up the kit, and then after that I'm ballast.
No, it's been an utter privilege to be involved in a very remarkable season. I've loved absolutely every second, even the seconds where we haven't been so good. I've still enjoyed every single minute, and it's been a real honour to be involved in this capacity. So see you in the championship, up
Nice
the
one.
town.
Yeah.
See you in the championship, up the town.
Just occurred to me that the two players that have scored more goals this season than any other are Ollie Rathbone and Umia. So this commentary lark's clearly doing a good thing for you.
Well,
Well, keep it up. And let's hope Wrexham keep it up next season. It's been an absolute joy and a privilege to bring these games to you. And now we're going for a nice lie down with the final score of Lincoln City 0, Wrexham 2. We have been back to back to back all season.